Look, I don't think you can expect someone to be personally attacked day after day, minute by minute, and sit back. Look, the American people elected a fighter. They didn't elect somebody to sit back and do nothing. They knew what they were getting when they voted for Donald Trump, and he won overwhelmingly. The only person that I see a war on is this president and everybody that works for him. I'm a woman, and I've been attacked by this show multiple times, but I don't cry foul because of it.
That was Sarah Huckabee Sanders from the podium at the White House on Thursday, a very contentious news day, and I thought she did an excellent job. And someone else who thinks she did likely as well is Governor Mike Huckabee, former presidential candidate and former governor of Arkansas.
Don't put words in his mouth.
I don't mean to put words in your mouth, Governor. Maybe you think differently, but what were you? I'm sure you were watching that. How did you feel she did, and kind of the way that she's under siege?
Well, Pete, first of all, let me acknowledge that I'm about as objective regarding my daughter as Morning Joe is regarding President Trump.
That is very well said.
So, of course, I think she did. Yeah, I think she did well. But, I think objectively, as much as it's possible, she had a tough job to do out there because that room was not filled with friendly faces, friendly voices, friendly people in the seats. And they were there to see if they could create a contentious moment. I thought she did a terrific job in just doing her job, which is to defend the president and the administration, to do it calmly, to do it professionally. She didn't lose control of her emotions like certain people on television who have criticized the president have done. But she did point out, I think, the most important thing that most of the press has totally ignored. This was not a tweet that Donald Trump just woke up one morning and sent. He did it after repeated months on end of being called a thug, a goon, a liar, been called mentally deranged, unfit for the office. I mean, anybody who has watched Donald Trump, he's been either a candidate of the president for the past 2 years, and he's a pretty public figure for the past 40 years. But one thing you know, if you go after Donald Trump, he's coming back after you. That is not a big piece of news.
So we know that.
Not a piece of news.
Now it goes from like a one day. First of all, no one's watching Morning Joe, right? So now then people tune in on Friday to see what their response to this was. It goes from being a nothing story at all because no one's watching the show. Now it's suddenly a story. It's the top trending topic on Facebook, on Apple News, on Fox News. This battle between Joe Scarborough, Mika Brzezinski, and President Trump. Now people are tuning in. Why even swing at pitches in the dirt? Where do you come down on that? You're attacked all the time.
I guess the easiest way to say it, if I were advising Donald Trump, and I'm not, but if he's listening, I'll say, don't let these guys even rise to the level of your attention because they're not worth it. You're the president. You got big things to do. Go do them. This is a mosquito bite. Swat it, leave it, go away. Because it is distracting from, I think, his important message. And he's doing things that really ought to be given credit. The reform of the VA. He's dealing with the best stock market we've had ever in history. We're taking a tough stance with North Korea. He's caused NATO members to start paying up. He's reset the entire Middle East. I mean, this is a president, I don't care what the liberals say, he's got a lot of accomplishments in a short period of time. Mm-hmm. And I think his record needs to be speaking way more loudly than any tweet.
Huckabee, quickly, Governor, your thoughts on health care. You've dealt with this as governor of your own state. A lot of pressure on this bill. You have GOP leaders saying they want to cancel the August recess until health care is solved, that too much is on the line here and Obamacare needs to be repealed. What's going to happen? What do you think needs to be done?
Well, I think a lot of people would say you don't get a recess until you finish your work. That's part of it. So I get that part. But it needs to be more than window dressing. The biggest thing the Republicans need to do is back up and realize this isn't a health care issue. It's a health insurance issue. They're not doing anything about health care. They're doing something about health insurance. And frankly, I think that part of their problem is they've got this big stew pot on the stove. And rather than saying that stew just isn't edible, i.e. Obamacare, and throw it out and start over, they're letting everybody bring a spoon and a spice into the kitchen and saying, see what you guys can do to make this better. You can't make this better. It won't get better. It's only going to get worse. I think it's time to start over. The best way to start over, pass this whole issue to the 50 states with Medicaid, block grants, and the freedom to let people pick their own health care and not try to create a federal program where one size fits all. That's their mistake.
Well, a lot of people agree with you on that one. Governor Huckabee, always good to have you with us. Have a great holiday weekend.
Scrap it, send it to the states. Thanks, Governor.
States.